What's up, everyone? I'm Livie Rock, just, out here being magical. Bling. And today you are going to get a treat. We're doing another episode of I'm Bored Daddy Edition. All right, let's get into it. Let's go.
You are going to need pencils, paper, permanent markers, small stones, small dry erase markers, small chalkboard, pen, a mason jar, Legos, paintbrush, paint, glue, Mod Podge, and some random accessories.
There were some things that I had at home, but there are also some things that I ran out and grabbed from the Dollar Tree. I didn't spend a lot of money, and I just kind of grabbed some things that I thought would be cool to use. You can do the same. And today we are celebrating the special fathers in your life. Okay? We are going to get started with first making a picture frame that says, "My dad rocks." You get it, rocks with the got rocks. All right, so first up on the agenda is we are going to begin to make a super easy, simple sign that says, "My dad rocks." We are going to use this really cool wood hanging dry erase or blackboard or whiteboard or dry erase board with some wood around it. We are going to place some stones all around it to show that my dad rocks using Mod Podge. Not Mod Podge. I keep saying Mod Podge, and it's not. It's called Mod Podge. Mod Podge. Say it with me. Mod Podge. So because here in Georgia, I like to run words together and say Mod Podge. That's not it. It's Mod Podge. Mod Podge, and we're gonna use it to adhere or stick down the rocks to the border here. You guys ready? Oh, and then also I found this as well. Some little cool cacti. One cactus, two cacti. So I found some of these, and we're going to put them around in between some of these, in between the rocks. So to give it kind of this desert kind of feel, rocks, desert. The first thing that I did was to just simply place my stones on the board. I kind of wanted to see what it would look like. You don't have to do this, but I did. Grab that Mod Podge and a paintbrush. Let's get ready to glue the stones onto the frame. Hey, don't forget to add any other accessories that you want to your frame. Totally up to you. Totally up to you. It's totally fine. It's cool. Looking good. I think I'm ready to glue now. All right, here's a little tip. I kept a napkin or paper towel close by, so if I got any Mod Podge on my fingers, I could easily wipe it away while it was still wet. So make sure you keep something close by that you can use to wipe your hands on. How much glue should you add? Great question. You want to add enough Mod Podge to where your stones or your accessories kind of sink into the Mod Podge a little bit. Not too much to where it's running off the sides, but you want to add enough to where your accessories or your stones can stay stuck to your frame without falling off.
quick note, make sure you are in a ventilated area because the Mod Podge is like making my eyes do something weird, and it could be the makeup in combination with the Mod Podge, but yeah, I'm glad I'm in a ventilated area. Thank you, airplane! How dare they try to fly and take people to their destination when they know I'm out here trying to shoot some footage. Is that a helicopter?
But break out your camera and you get helicopters and airplanes and jets. It's a helicopter. Get out of here. Anywho, yeah, I'm grateful that I'm in a ventilated area because the Mod Podge is kind of making my eyeballs do something weird, but I just feel it a little bit. And I'm happy that I'm outside. But I probably should put the top back on. And maybe if I was to seal it up, that would be good. But I'm using the top to hold the Mod Podge, so maybe not do that. Maybe do something else, but not that. All right, so we're going to move on to our next activity where we are going to take this chalkboard, picture frame, wood hanging, black/white board, whatever. We're going to take this and I got this from the Dollar Tree, probably for $1. And we are going to take this with this sign here about inspire. We're going to glue this down, maybe use some more stones because I bought a bunch of them and I want to get my money's worth. But no, I do want to put some stones because otherwise it would be kind of plain and boring. So I'm going to put some stones on here because that's what I like to do. You don't have to. Remember that this is your project as well. So this is for your special someone in your life. So if you want to put rocks, put them. If you do not and you want to put Skittles, put them, but be mindful they are edible. So okay, maybe not Skittles, but yeah, so whatever you want to do, that's your business. If you want to put stickers around the frame and write a cool message on the inside, that is totally fine. This is your project. Make it your own. I am going to write a cool message using a chalkboard marker I also got for $1. And so I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use this, and more more stones to make this amazing. You ready? Easy peasy, easy. Anyone could do this. It's so easy. All right, let's go. For this particular activity, I actually chose to write on the board first before I decorated it. But, you know, hey, that's just me. So I had this really cool idea that, hey, maybe I should take some acrylic paint and paint this wood before I put the stones on it. And yeah, so you can totally do that if you want to. You can draw, color, whatever, doodle, whatever. But that's just what I chose to do, and I think it came out pretty good. What do you think? Type your answer in the comments.
Livie Rock is here. Have you subscribed to my channel yet? Have you? Subscribe.
Okay, so while I was letting the paint dry on my second activity, I went back to the first activity. So you know how toe jam kind of sits in between your toes? I let the Mod Podge sit in between the stones, and I painted the stones again with Mod Podge, and yeah, it kind of gives them a shiny finish.
you, don't even think about giving up. Make it to the end of this video. I know you can do it. I know you can, boo. I know you can.
All right, back to activity number 2. Now that the paint is dry, I'm going to use a little bit of Mod Podge or glue to glue the stones down to the frame. Yay! Great job! Now it's time to let it dry. Moving back to the first activity, go ahead and finish up by writing a cool message. We used a wet dry erase marker so that way it would stay unless you wet something and wipe it off. So yeah. Okay friends, you've earned it. It's time for a dance break. We're moving on to activity number 3. Let's keep the energy pumping. Let's keep it going, friends. You can do it. This is probably one of my favorite activities because you get to stop and think about all the cool memories you are building with the adult in your life. Write those memories down on the Lego blocks and drop them into the jar. Now, you're ready to write out a title or to give your jar a label. Mod Podge the jar and then stick the paper onto the jar. Let it dry before you Mod Podge the paper again. This is important because it seals everything together. Okay, wow, this was good. This was good. There was a lot of found items that we used, things that we used that were found around the house, which was really great. I maybe spent about less than 10 bucks at the Dollar Tree. So that was great. And it did not cost a lot of money. It did not take a ton of time. It did not frustrate me. The gifts that were made today are going to make people happy. And I feel really great about it. Don't forget to comment below and let me know how this activity went for you. What did you make? How did you tweak it and make it your own? I'd love to hear from you. All right, breaking news, breaking news. One last activity for a grown-up in your life that has poured into you. I chose to do this one, or my kids and I chose to do this one for their uncle. And we put a kind of cool, funny quote on it. I used a dollar picture frame from the Dollar Tree. It's almost like a little shadow box. And I used paper to write the message on there. I took the paper that they had already in there. I traced it on construction paper, cut it out, wrote my message, pop that in there, and then I also put some gems around the outside of the glass. Now, I didn't realize that Mod Podge worked on all surfaces, so it definitely will work on glass. Yay! All right, as the stones were drying, I began to work on the message that my kids had told me to write for them. So yeah, I wrote that out, I messed up, and then I started over again because that's my business. Make sure your message is centered on the glass. In this particular picture frame, there were 2 pieces of glass. On the very outside glass, I glued down the stones. On the inside, where the picture would probably go, is where I placed the message. Okay, family, we are moving on to the last step. Once the stones had dried for a bit, probably about 10 or 15 minutes, I decided to go ahead and begin Mod Podging all of the stones to make sure that they were shiny and they had even more glue on them so they would really stay. Hey, guess what? I dropped Mod Podge all on that glass and I took a napkin and I wiped it off. Totally fine, okay? Thank you for watching. I'm glad you made it. We did it. We did it. We're rock stars. Did you know that? You're a rock star. I'm a rock star. He's a rock star. She's a rock star. They are rock stars. And you can accomplish amazing things when you put your mind to it. All right? You got this. See you next time on another episode of I'm Bored.